Hello and welcome to That One Introvert. I'm said Introvert, and this is my top 5. And if you don't know what top 5 is, where have you been? Because they're pretty obvious. I'm just going to list things about a certain subject. It's real easy to understand. Anyway, this week I'm doing top 5 superhero films because, of course, I'm a nerd. I've said that explicitly so many times. So, this is totally my opinion. I'm not saying that these are the best superhero films, period, and that you shouldn't take others into account, but these are my top 5. And also, I'm counting in animated films because a lot of great superhero films totally get forgotten about because they're animated. Anyway, let's kick this off. Starting off at number 5 is Justice League War. So this is the animated Justice League film that was released in 2014, and it's one of my top 5 because it's amazing. The story is great, the characters are great, the fights are awesome, and you get a real sense that this could totally be an actual Justice League feature film if it wasn't an animated film. And it further emphasizes a point that I've been trying to make for years. DC rule at making animated films. They always have. Whereas Marvel have kind of been like, okay, that was a thing. You should not have done that. It was awkward. I mean, the animated series are just so boring. I mean, the Avengers, that's just a bad series. But DC have always rocked with that, and it was great to see Justice League War doing that in a feature film length time. Coming in at number 4 is X-Men Days of Future Past. Now, again, this is another 2014 release, and I loved it because it was Bryan Singer following on from First Class, which was one of the first X-Men films that I thought was really good. Plus, it was great to see James McAvoy, Michael Fassbender, Sir Ian McKellen, and Patrick Stewart in one film. It was just the best! The plotline was great, and it managed to restore decades of bad X-Men films with a single swipe. It just went, this all never happened. And I was like, yes, just what this series needs, a new reinvent, and I loved it. And at number 3 is The Spirit, which is a 2008 superhero film. So The Spirit is a hero who originally began his life as a comic strip created by Will Eisner in the 1950s, but eventually moved on and became an actual comic book. He got his movie in 2008, and it is awesome. It's got this whole neo-noir kind of black and white thing going, kind of like Sin City, but with more humor and just a massive cast with Samuel L. Jackson, Scarlett Johansson, and Eva Mendes. It's a great comic book film. It's funny, and it takes some liberties with the main hero, but it was really awesome to see an obscure hero that I love actually appear in the film. I mean, hell, it came out before I loved the character, but it was great to see anyway. At number 2, it's Guardians of the Galaxy. Of course this had to be included in the list. I mean, Guardians of the Galaxy was one of the most unexpected superhero hits of 2014. I mean, the characters were kind of unknown to most of the general public, and even to me a little bit. I'd only read some of the Guardians of the Galaxy comics, but the iteration of the team that I read included Mantis and other characters, and Star-Lord wasn't Star-Lord then. But this film totally won me over. It was badass and funny, and it was just this great kind of sci-fi superhero flick that had a badass soundtrack that you could totally jam to, and I still have about 90 of those songs on my iPod, because friggin' 80s. Yeah. And standing top of the tower at number 1 has to be Captain America: The Winter Soldier. Now, this film is my favorite superhero film because not only do I love Captain America, he's a badass superhero, let's face it. This film was funny, badass, awesome action. The fight scenes were incredible. Plus, there was a plot that I can enjoy with twists that I never really expected to see coming. And when they did come, I was like, oh god. Oh my god. And also, it introduced Falcon and the Winter Soldier, 2 characters who I love from the Captain America mythos. And I was overjoyed. So there you have it, my top 5 superheroes of all time. Well, not all time, because most of them were from 2014. That was a good year for superhero films, apparently. Anyway, thanks for watching, and stay tuned, because next week I will be doing a top 5 worst superhero films, and you know I'm going to go in on that, because I got some things to say about some films. Anyway, like and share the video, and as usual, subscribe to the channel. I've been Kyron Herman. Catch you on the flip.